I want to thank you for taking a moment to join me in this choosing joy, this surrender to the idea that our body is an operating machine and that everything that we need has been provided for us. We choose joy through our environment. We choose joy through our mindset. We choose joy especially through those micronutrients and letting our operating system run the way that it is meant to run. And that's a purpose for me. That's, Mindset Unicorn, Be Light Create. This is all what I have been really focused on because I noticed the difference, right? When I started adding in micronutrients, the difference in my happiness factor. But there was still a little bit of the puzzle that was missing. So if you are here, welcome to day one. You are either just learning about the products and about the protocol, you have started with some products or the protocol, or you are part of my wellness tribe, and this is just the beginning of your journey of walking the walk and sharing mind, body, and soul with others. I choose this acronym of WALK because we are really focusing on wellness, right? Retaining and creating that alignment within mind, body, soul, really loving ourselves, right? And being kind, right? This kindness for ourselves, but for others. When we care about people, we want to support other people. When we care about ourselves, we want to support ourselves. So we start here, right, with we all have a body, and anything we do on a daily basis can provide amazing benefits, big and small, right? It's the same thing with where the things we are doing that are negatively impacting our bodies. And just like those negative things that build up over time, like being at the end of winter and being like, oh man, I just realized how dry my skin is and how big my pores are because we have had such a dry winter, right? Things happen in phases, just like improvements happen in phases. Some of those results will come faster than others, right? We like to look at phased results as this is good, now you're getting better, and now you're at the best. Now, what we're talking about here is a program that really focuses in on, right, eating in balance, okay, 80-20 rule, sometimes a little bit of that 90-10 rule, and then supplements to fill in those gaps and work synergistically so that the benefits are building up. And this is all to help people choose the system that works best for them. Many of us have forgotten how to make ourselves a priority in our own life, and that's really what this program is about, is focusing on yourself in whatever way works for you. And by doing that, you can have some reduced stress. You can create a more positive mood. You can normalize the gut, brain, and heart axis. You can find yourself focusing better, helping with your appetite control. And then all of this adds up. And it's because all of this works within a lot of those methyl groups, which just means that it's the foods that create that chemical reaction that puts the epigenetics on top of our genetics. And what that means is it's either turning something on or turning that expression off. And we want to turn off the expressions that are not healthy for us, but we want to be able to turn back on those genes that as we age just stop functioning as well as we would like them to. Now, we all have a story. I loved this story from Jan. Okay, for years, Jan suffered from rheumatoid arthritis, bursitis in several joints, acid reflux, chronic colitis, hypothyroidism, depression, and anxiety hugely elevated after she lost a special someone to a depressive disorder. Now, after being hyperthyroid for 30 plus years, in August of 2020, Hashimoto's attacked Jan's entire body, and Jan was shook constantly, pretty much for 8 months straight. Even while Jan was sleeping, there was that shaking going on. Her husband said it was like sleeping on a vibrating bed. Now, around May of 2021, the shaking slowed down, but Jan was still suffering from it. And the brain fog, right, felt like a huge, dense cloud between her brain, her thoughts, and her actions. She didn't feel safe behind the car wheel. She wasn't driving. She was very fatigued, but unable to sleep for more than a couple of hours at a time. And everything hurt, right? For someone that has RA, they live with chronic pain. But there was a new, more intense all over pain that she had never experienced before. And because of this, her depression was getting very severe. And she was in a very dark place. Now, on Father's Day, Jan videotaped her goodbye to her family and friends. She thought she was dying, and she wanted everyone to know what they meant to her. By mid-July 2021, Jan started taking part in the Fundamentals program. Her feeling was, if it can help, I want to try it. I'm game for anything, even though Jan did not believe it was going to work. But today, Jan's brain fog is gone, right? The shaking is almost gone. The pain, wow, right, is so much lower. Not popping the antacids. The chronic cycle of diarrhea and constipation, right? And finally having normal poop, right? Everybody poops. We can talk about poop here. And feeling happy. Now, a few weeks ago, Hashimoto's reminded Jan of its presence, and the symptoms weren't as bad, but they were there. And then Jan realized, there's a couple things I had forgotten to reorder. And so Jan went in and bundled these products with what she's been taking regularly, saving about 50%. When we bundle on this program, we save about 50% each on those items. And by the time of Jan's medical appointment, she felt so much better. She thought that her doctor was going to be upset about her not doing what, like, why are you wasting my time if you feel good? That's the kind of results that are so amazing to hear when people start putting that nutrients and the gut biome, and it all starts to work in this synchronicity, okay? Now, myself, I've been through it, right? I am finally starting to get back to where I was in 2013. But in 2013, to be at where I was at that time, I was over-exercising, which is what crashed my adrenals. I was dealing with the progressive results of miscarriage and autoimmune and depression, and then moved into menopause. And now I have found happiness, right? Teachers, healers, we all start here, right? That's what is something that's important for us to understand, is that we all start where we are for a reason. But we now get the ability to go from where we are to where we want to be. That's by influencing the alien life force inside of us, our microbiota. Okay? So we do what I call the reboot, rejuvenation, restore, okay? The 3 R's. We do often start with the reboot, The reboot is fantastic, right? Because we are resetting the brain-gut communication to be clear and balanced. We want to restore the gut by focusing on a plant-rich diet full of healthy polyphenols, because polyphenols are what feed the gut microbiota. I wrote about this in my Micronutrient Happiness book. We are balancing our microbiome by consuming foods and supplements that are targeted to balance mood, appetite, and restore the optimal DNA methylation. Okay, we want to promote weight loss by supporting our detoxifying pathways and to create healthy digestion and get maximum nutrient absorption, which can be very difficult. And when you don't have it, believe me, you want it. We're also going to boost our functional operating system to reduce the onset of dis-ease. Now, we want to reboot, regenerate, restore, right? My goal is that in month 1 that you will start with the 3-day reboot if you can, and monthly do that until you find that you're doing really well. Then you can take it to quarterly and then to biannually, right? And some of you may just keep it as a quarterly thing. But it is about $30 a month to keep that part of the protocol going and running, and make sure that you're resetting that system every month. And it really does only take like 3 days to kind of clear out, repopulate, and start being ready to rejuvenate. Now, again, sometimes the systems are sluggish when we create change. And so doing this monthly will help you restore that flow. All right. Then we dive into 30 days where we are focusing on what we call dirty fasting. So you don't have to do that full, 20 million hours of fasting. We are moving our bodies gently. That may just be walking a few more steps than you normally do. Maybe you're stretching your body out with a little bit of yoga. And we're reminding our bodies that we are not in a famine. When somebody is in the womb during any sort of famine, okay, that impact lasts through 5 generations. When we nourish our body, that impact lasts through 5 generations. That's the brilliance of epigenetics. That is the brilliance of this optimal DNA methylation methyl grouped foods. So you may use just the metabolic purple pill in the beginning. You can add in a drink that will support your energy and metabolism that just has 3 ingredients. I chose to add in the plant-based protein that they offer because it helps with those cravings as well. And I've worked on myself enough that, I didn't feel like I needed the other support right now. But this drink can support your mood immediately. It helps with motivation. It boosts your metabolism, your brain power, and physical energy. And it's a combination that offers progressive anti-aging benefits and helps with the loss of belly fat over time. Okay, so the reason we start with the reboot, right, is that you're starting on day 1, all right, where you have a healthy, I prefer having a healthy vegetarian or vegan breakfast or lunch. Like you can have a taco bar for lunch or dinner. And then with dinner on day 1, you take your first 2 capsules. I like to do it with like a soup. Not everyone does it that way though. I mean, I like to do it with just a lot of veggies, right? Like, because that's day 1, day 2, and day 3 are really the core of the program. And you can do a lot of salads and fruit bowls and smoothies and soups and stir fries because it's only for 2 days, right? And we can do anything for 2 days. And what's happening is by staying away from sugar, by staying away from, things that turn into sugar, things that, alcohol, which converts to sugar, by doing all of this rich microbiota foods, we're going into our garden. We're not using a laxative, and we are cleaning out the weeds and replenishing the good flora. And that way we start fresh and clean. Now, I have a group that I can add you to go through that with. And there's a lot of recipes in there to choose from. And Oliver may bark. Oliver, don't bark, please. And most importantly, though, you're going to get some support. All right. Now, let's talk a little bit about that purple pill, okay? The rejuvenation. This is a combination of 4 ingredients. We've got the probiotic, prebiotic, phytobiotic, and postbiotic. And these helped me after my reboot to really start releasing old stored weight, right? So together, this combination works to synergize and accelerate your body's capacity to achieve and maintain a healthy weight. It is a first of its kind support in clinical studies. The 2 strains used in this product, which is the prebiotic and the phytobiotic, were shown to decrease white fat, restore that good brown fat, increase lean muscle mass, and reduce inflammation. Because again, the brain affects the gut affects the brain. And so this is something especially I feel like is an important tool for those that are older, where our brain and our gut are not talking to each other anymore. So this is where I would like to start people at. Now, some of the supportive changes that you're going to go through is we're using what we call the helping hand approach. Okay, this helps our metabolism. It helps us with our hormones and helps us reach our goal. And so with fruits and vegetables, except potatoes, which count as concentrated carbs, okay, you're going to choose a quantity that roughly matches the size of your open hand. So I would take a screenshot of this so that you can remember this part later. But you want a rainbow, okay? And especially the carotenoids and the flavonoids, all right? The polyphenols are going to be in a lot of it, but also the purples are the polyphenols, okay? The concentrated carbs are going to be like your pastas, your potatoes, right? No more than your tightly closed fist. So just a small amount at each meal. Lean proteins, if you are a carnivore or a vegetarian, right, might be eggs, yogurt, milk, or as a carnivore, lean meats, trimmed steaks, definitely pastured, wild-caught fish. I prefer Atlantic, pastured chicken, right, pastured pork. And then for vegans, or if you're looking to add more plant-based in, organic and non-GMO tofu, tempeh. There's some really great pea-based alternative meats out there. And the Beyond Burgers. People really like the Beyond Burgers. They are actually really good. You can choose an amount of that the size of your palm of your hand. Keep in mind that this is going to be about half of what's served in many American restaurants, so be prepared to eat half and bring the other half home for leftovers. And then any source of fat will do. I do love to add into like a nice smoothie some flaxseed, right? If you're eating nuts, do not go overboard. That will cut into your gut more than support your gut. Olive oil is one of my favorite oils if you're going to use an oil. But avocado is a fantastic fat source, right? Whole olives are fantastic. Stick with gluten-free if you can, and make substitutes that work for you, because it really is about making a lifestyle. Now, I do the quadbiotic in the morning and one at night. You might do a combination of one in the morning and then what we call the happy juice later in the day to bust through the late afternoon slumps that can release cortisol and create that sugar monster that comes out at night, gives us that inability to sleep, right? That combination is a really great support, and it has no caffeine, so it won't interfere with your sleep, and it also has no sugar, so it will not interfere with those that actually have developed an intolerance to sugar in their system, which is a large point of the population now. So, happy juice, instant happy. This is something that transforms your mood, your motivation, and your metabolism with no side effects. All thanks to the unmatched ingredients. You get palm fruit, which increases the brain's ability to regenerate neurons. Okay, you get the mango leaf, and that gives you fast-acting mental energy, helps you recover from those workouts. And lychee fruit, which gives you decreased fatigue, improved endurance, and also can help. It kind of has a lot of the similar supports that you would get from collagen with the wrinkles support and reducing the belly fat. This is one of those that I cannot take because of my severe latex hypersensitivity. And so I like to do the tremolo mushroom, okay, and do palm fruit separately. And it's just something that I wish I could have as my support, but I can't. But it is something that really does help a lot of people. So once we get done with our 30 days, or sometimes it's 60 days, right? Our gut gets into the place where we can move into the next stage of the process. And that's when I really recommend moving into the fundamentals pack. Okay, the fundamentals has the metabiotics. It's got Menta Focus, which I've put my mother on for her memory support, and Menta Sync, which is about really syncing up the gut and the brain. And the clinical studies were amazing. What people found in 30 days was very significant. Okay, 28% increase in the good gut bacteria, right? Lactobacillus, which is one of those that we don't like to take, but we need it, but we can produce it. We don't need to supplement it. 30% higher of the bifidobacterium, which is that bifidobacterium is the one that really helps our balance of our metabolism. Okay, we had in the studies lower tension, lower depression, lower anger, lower fatigue, lower confusion, higher vitality, right? This is when you get into the restoration of you. And that I find is so important. What I love the most is that this is really affordable. You know, you are selecting the package, you're going for it. As a customer, you actually will have a link, and you can share your link with friends. And if you refer a friend, which I wish they did this with like Amazon, because I would have all kinds of free things. But if you refer a friend, you can give them $10 off their first order, which I can do as well as I do for my customers. And then when they place a subscription order of $39.95 or more, as a customer, you'll get a free product out of this specific product catalog that they have of things like omegas, okay? Things that you really are already using that they have a better quality of, and then it's wonderful. I just recently got, I got a protein. I used one of my free products and got a canister of the protein, the vanilla protein. So that's something really great. You can also, again, you can change your subscribe and save order at any time because you have a link to log in to your own, like kind of like with Amazon, right? Where you go in and you can look at your orders and things like that. And they also have a program for wellness partners that have joined my team, and they can earn free products enrolling new partners. They don't have to enroll anyone though. They can just sell the products. When you have 3 customers that buy a package of what we call 100 personal volume on Subscribe and Save. So that would be the dual pack of the GBX Fit, that Quadbiotic, right? The Happy Juice pack, the Fundamentals pack. Then when you have those 3 customers, you will earn $135, which will pay for your package for the month. And so that's really a pretty amazing feat. I really fell in love, literally love, Amare, right, with this company because of the impact that they are trying to have on mental wellness, and that they get that it is a synchronous dance between gut and mind that a lot of companies don't get, and that people are not going to do things that they can't just live life, right? You don't want to do things if you can't have a good life. And so this allows you that balance. I love that it's all the 3 hearts, right? Reboot, rejuvenate, restore, and then that component of helping 3, right? You help one, they help one, they help one, right? You help 3, you help yourself with those 3. And you can get, as a customer with that referral code, up to 3 free products a month. So that's pretty cool. Again, together, right, we can walk into a healthier tomorrow. That's what this is all about. And I do walk the walk. If you've known me for a while, I do not promote something that I am not the first one to go out and try and make sure that it actually is something that would work. And I'm very, very specific about ingredients. And so just know that I would not recommend anything that was not something that I would support. So I love you guys. I hope this helped you. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Okay, and let's go ahead and walk together.